What is up, Brickafit fans? Today we are going to be releasing a brand new kit for Brickafig. That's right, my company Brickafig, coming out with its second release of a set. This is the Civil War / Other Wars Gatling gun. So it's based off an 1863 Gatling gun, but it can be used for any kind of Gatling gun of any ilk. We'll talk about the history, we'll talk about the set, what you get for 15 bucks, why you should head over to brickafig.com and purchase one for yourself. Alright, there's one custom printed element in this, some crazy stuff here, but Dave, what is this? It's not the Gatling gun.
This is a debacle of a video is
really
what this is. I'm not sure it can be resurrected, but maybe we have a shot if we maybe go right into the build itself and save the history for last.
Alright, so here is Matthew with a little bit of the build, and then we'll talk about it as well.
Alright, well, I'm here yet again to talk about one of my designs. So here we have Brickafig's second kit that I designed. This is the Civil War Gatling gun. So this is the prototype version, my prototype version. Joshua also has one, but you can tell there's no printing. The sides are a little bit different on the final one, but gives you the general idea, so I can talk about a few things. One of the main things with this was the color palette. Using the pearl gold to get those accents like it really has really worked well, I think, and then just the black with the dark gray for the cart, and especially though the pearl dark gray, I believe it is, wheels. So happy, it adds such a nice contrast. A few little play features we have in here. There's got the seat. I wanted to add it. I know not all of them had it, but a few did, and I thought that it looked really good. Another main one is, let's see if I can't, got the hand crank, there we go. That can go up and down, and that was something that I decided that I kind of needed to include, but I thought that worked pretty well. We also have the magazine or clip or sight, depending on which type of Gatling gun you want it to be, and it just had a vertical magazine that was gravity fed. Changed the elevation of the barrel. It will work really good in mocks. I had it set up in one of mine when I was in Fredericksburg. It worked really well. I was very happy about this. I love the design that I was able to come up with, and also fun little thing, you can also of course attach it to a little wagon or team of horses to make it look like it's being pulled. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. I'll give it back to Dave and Joshua. They're covering this probably much better than I will. But yeah.
So, thank you, Matthew, for doing that.
That was tight.
A couple of things that he did not mention in great detail is the printed part, because he didn't have that. Yes, he had the prototype model, so it does say Gatling on it, USA 1863, which is what the model is based off of. And it's on this really nice pearl gold, and it really kind of shines, and like Matthew was saying, there's parts of the color palette is really, really nice, in my opinion. It just looks stunning. It has that kind of gunmetal kind of feel, you know, but it's not, you know, too, you know, modern. I mean, it's the perfect balance of that modernish kind of going, but you're not going too modern, if you know what I mean. It fits the time period of the 1860s.
You're treating a Gatling gun like it's a bottle of wine.
I know.
Frothy, yeah, but with just a hint of impertinence.
That's true. That's true. So as standard with all of our Brickafig kits, it does come with your historical printed insert, telling you basically all the information. Anyway, but that's got some pictures for you as well, if you want to look back on this later. And then we also do include instructions. So it is physical instructions. Is one of my pet peeves about, especially the Bricklink Designer program, is that there's no physical instructions. And I mean, it's fine if it's like a small kit, but if it's a big kit, come on, man. But we definitely did not cheap out on you guys. We got a very nice printed instructions here sheet, so you can follow along and build with ease, and maybe build a couple more if you want to. So I can't wait to see what kind of mocks I can do with this, and also you guys as well if you decide to pick this up. It's stunning, and yeah, I mean, it's really tight from the source material. You know, it just looks great. And it pairs really nicely with our 11th figure here. Oh my god, this is just an ad, but yes, that is what it is.
You know, the history of the Gatling gun is really pretty cool. I first became acquainted with the Gatling gun in spaghetti westerns. In fact, there's a spaghetti western, one of its titles is The Gatling Gun, and so many of the movies. Well, even in the A Fistful of Dollars, the first one, There's like a Gatling gun in that where they're mowing down people.
For people who don't know what spaghetti westerns are, you know, the American Western films, it's the Italian version because the Italians really loved westerns.
Yeah.
And so they made about 650 or 660 of them on their own. And this guy just so happens to collect them. But yeah, so that's spaghetti westerns.
Anyway, actually the history is pretty interesting. It was invented by a fellow named Dr. Richard Gatling, who went to medical school, but as far as we know, never practiced medicine. And he invented a whole bunch of things. He was a prolific inventor. He invented, I can't remember everything right now, but something that would spread out seeds really quickly and some other really interesting things. And he was in his office in Indianapolis, Indiana, looking out the window, and he saw all the wounded soldiers coming back from the front lines, going to hospitals and whatnot. And he was absolutely horrified by the carnage that was the result of just the crazy tactics that...
So then he decided to develop something that would develop more carnage towards the other enemy.
That's true. He thought, you know, if we make war even worse, maybe people would be reluctant to engage in wars. And on top of that, he reasoned if we made an invention that would make one soldier the equivalent of 100 riflemen, armies wouldn't have to be so big, so casualties would be less. And also, if we invented a machine that could do that, nobody would do these stupid Napoleonic mass charges into each other.
He does have some merit, but also it's kind of dumb at the same time. Like, it's very nice invention, I think. It's very cool, but his reasoning, I get it, okay? I get it on a subsurface level, but I feel like to make weapons even more deadly just kind of defeats the purpose, because look what happened in World War I when machine guns really got off the ground. Massive amounts of casualties. Now, we did learn our lesson a little bit, but not much, and especially now towards a modern era, we don't have that as badly. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you kind of get the thinking? I mean, I get the thinking, but do you think it's like 100% foolproof here?
I kind of zoned out about 5 minutes ago. His original prototype had 6 barrels, was turned by a hand crank.
And we do have that represented, and that Matthew showed off. That was the hand crank.
And the magazine was fed from the top. And what we have right here is basically the original design, which initially had, as I mentioned, 6 barrels. It could fire 200 rounds a minute and could cut a 10-inch tree in half in under 30 seconds. And the Army wasn't too crazy about the gun at first, because the Army and the government is always reluctant to adopt any kind of change.
That is true.
And Dr. Gatling tried to sell it to the Union Army, and nobody was interested, as I mentioned. But some of the Union commanders actually purchased Gatling guns, 12 of them actually, with their own funds, and they were used to good effect at the Battle of Petersburg. Also, there were 7 or 8 more Gatling guns that were put on gunboats, and that was pretty much the extent of their involvement in the Civil War. After the war, Dr. Gatling kept improving the design. Barrels had for many as 5 to 10 barrels. The gun could weigh anywhere from 90 pounds to a half ton. There was even a short-barreled model called the Camel gun, which was actually purchased by the British, and they mounted them up on camels for their desert campaign.
Crazy.
It shot a myriad of different calibers, and interestingly, fun fact, General George Armstrong Custer had 3 of those in his command with the 7th Cavalry, and he decided in his march to the Bighorn River that he would leave them behind because he felt like it would slow up his army's advance. And he thought that people would think he was cheating, that he would lose face if he had such a modern weapon. So, wow. Yeah, there you have it.
Quite unique history.
Yeah, it was used all over the world by a bunch of different countries, and finally by 1911, with the invention of the machine guns, the Maxim and the Browning, it became obsolete, and the U.S. government declared it obsolete in 1911. But it's an iconic weapon, and it's something, when you see it, at least when I see it, I think of the Old West, and just a very, very interesting weapon.
And it's really that kind of transition from cannon as the main armament that's like light armament to machine guns.
And, you know, the gun probably struck fear in everyone's hearts. It wasn't used in an incredible amount, but just the mere appearance of it on a battlefield or in a riot situation or whatnot, people went, I don't think I want to mess with this. And they would disperse.
Mm-hmm. So there you have it. That is the Gatling gun, now represented in Brickafig form. So pick yourself on up at brickafig.com. And I guess we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.